In the last video, I made this path right here, but one thing I'm noticing is there's a little gap on the corners. And so I'm going to show you kind of a quick way to kind of align these and make it so you don't have these right angles. So I'm going to get over and move and focus on one of them. We're actually going to be manipulating this in such a way that we're going to want to have not just this be a line, but for the whole thing to be a shape. So in this case, really quickly, I will do the path and outline stroke. There's another video that talks about that. But what I want to do is kind of extend this, but then cut it off vertically so it doesn't extend past here, and I want it to align things. So I can actually do that with my direct select tool, and what I'm going to do is select this line right here, and a lot of times I like to kind of select off into space first and then select here. If I had just come in from the select tool, then it's likely to have selected the whole thing and just moved the whole thing down. And I selected a line, which means that I can actually grab that line and move it. If I want to, I can go up and down. Everything else is going to stay in the same spot except for this, and so I'm actually going to make sure that I'm just getting this path and moving it straight out. Okay, so now it's gone past there. I can go over, look at the other side, and do the same thing. So I'm going to straighten that one out. It's gone further than I needed to. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pen tool and I'm going to use the add anchor point tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over where this line right here, that's kind of part of my, to give you some context, this is part of the actual template. And I just want to make this so the line doesn't overhang, but it isn't too short either. And so what I can actually do is add an anchor point there and do the same thing on the bottom right there. I'm going to do that same thing for the both sides, and I'm confident that I'm clicking in the right spot because I have that intersect showing up, and that's telling me that, hey, it's going to line up with not only this path that I'm adding it to, but this other one that exists. So it's going to intersect that. Then what I can do, just to kind of clean things up, is I'm grabbing, clicking and dragging. You can right click as well. But I'm going to delete these extra anchor points out here, or at least I should be able to. And delete these anchor points. And there we go. I missed it. I want to make sure I'm hitting the anchor itself. I can do the same thing on the other side. So if you get that warning, which you often will, it means that you haven't quite hit. So if I hit here, you're going to get this warning, but you want to make sure that you then do actually hit that anchor. And so now, much better, I've got a line that is going to cover up the entire side of this, but isn't going to have a gap and isn't going to overhang too much. Going to keep this fairly clean overall. There you go. That is one thing you can do, one little trick to kind of clean some of these things up.